it. All right, so welcome in. We're going to officially dive in here because some of you have seen me on a more technical side where it's like we're not going to talk about social media today. We're not going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about you. And I'm going to choose to lovingly challenge you today with this. This is the part of where we look at how can we create a seat? How do we claim a seat at the table? Because like I had shared earlier, it was my wildest dreams to be where I am today. And it wasn't just claiming that seat. It was how can I serve? How can I give? How can I contribute and grow to the person that I need to be in order to be trusted for that seat? Because one of the biggest turning points I had, and some of you may have heard this story, but I'll say it with anyone who hasn't. There was a time, I'm blown away where I get to be today. I truly am. But there was a time it wasn't always like that. Okay, I used to struggle so much with my confidence. I used to have the worst time with my health, both mental health and physical health. I was struggling in all the areas that I could struggle, health, wealth, relationships. I was unraveling in the background while still trying to perform for others. And I had to learn the value of choosing to be, choosing the growth, making change by choice. And I made this declaration when I was coming into my role as a senior coach within Mastermind, and I was serving at such a high level. At that time when they had asked me to be a senior coach, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I said, if I'm ever going to get on that stage one day, I need to take myself more seriously. And I declared this like elegant era. I went out with my best friend. It was around winter time, and I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I can't believe that they asked me to be on this level and that I get to serve at this level. And hopefully one day I'll be able to do this. And I just got real with my friend, and I said to her, I said, I just feel like I know I'm meant for more, but I need to take myself more seriously. I'm not taking myself as seriously as I could be. And it was this moment where I had declared that, not just, oh, I'm going to elevate myself and how I show up physically, like, with my appearance and things like that, but how was I going to shift the way I spoke about myself? How I spoke about the things I was passionate about, how I was aligning with people and not saying no anymore. Right? It was we were talking about this, Debbie and I, when we were coming in here, and it says, you never know the power of the ask. The ask. Had I not, when I first took courageous action to be like, you know what, I'm just going to apply. I'm going to apply for this coaching position. Worst thing can happen is they'll say no. Doesn't matter. At least I put my name in the hat. And to my surprise, it was like, we'd actually like to invite you to the next layer of this. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe, right? And it was in that moment as well that I realized you get 0 opportunities you don't ask for. And who do you need to show up as? Authentically you, elevated you. I never lost my authenticity because I started changing the way I looked and felt about myself. I did not change my authenticity because I've lost 150 pounds and I stopped dyeing my hair bright red. Okay. I used to have bright red hair. I used to have, I carried an extra 150 pounds on my bones. I was not taking myself seriously. I had all these external things that was like, well, they'll see through this because of my heart, my authenticity. I could be authentic and take myself more seriously. There was those moments where I had to say, like, I want to take my health more seriously, not just lose the weight. But all that weight was a manifestation of what I was really dealing with in my life. I needed to face her. I needed to respect her. I needed to love her. I needed to face her. And as I started becoming that next version of me, there's these 3 areas that I want you to hear. So take note on this, because I as much as I can make slides, I hate teaching from them. So I'm always going to invite you to write things down. I love slides when I need to use them, but I don't prefer them because my flow state is just speaking volume to your heart. So here's the thing. I want you to ask yourself, like, I claim my seat by showing up authentically me, by taking myself seriously, by what is that for you? What is that for you? Where are you going to be heart-centered? Where are you going to be intentional? Where are you going to protect your peace? Because there's parts of us, when we commit to the becoming, we also have to really commit to protecting our peace. Where do we have to expire loyalty to people who don't get to come on this journey with us on this next version? Where do we expire loyalty to some of our habits and beliefs? What do you need in order to become that next version of you? Because there's going to be times where you lean into your peers and you ask for not for help, but for opportunity. I want to reframe: when you ask your peers for opportunity, when you lean into your peers to serve, to support, while also letting go of people, circumstances, habits, and things that no longer serve who you're becoming at a high level. Because when we come to this high level, we need to trust ourselves so that people trust us deeply. If we don't trust ourselves to follow through in this elevated series of our events of our life, then how can people trust us deeper if we can't trust ourselves deeper? And sometimes that means letting go of people who make you feel small, letting go of circumstances that make you feel small, letting go of mindset that has kept you small. And I get it. I get it. I had to unravel those pieces of me. And as much as I show up with this big energy, which I have, and I've honored my big energy, I also had very big feelings. I've learned to hone my emotional brevity. I've learned to hone that. But the reason for me to really face it in my elegance was, why were those feelings coming up in the first place? And how was I going to face it so I could be the better version of me? Now, it doesn't mean that we're abandoning ourselves, because that we know how to do. We know how to abandon ourselves, but where I want to talk about how we become successful without self-abandonment. In the moments that you start to feel like you're abandoning yourself, your principles, your authenticity, your goals, and I've been talking about this recently, a little bit louder than I have from my socials channels, but this is not an either or. So if you've been questioning, can I have success or the healthy relationship or my family, and I love that Ashley's here with her brand new baby, because this is the also, this is the and, this is the they come with us. Our families come with us in this journey. You will have seasons where you learn about what you're capable as you're adjusting and you're adapting, but they don't have to wait, and neither do you. So there's these pieces where, when we're looking at this framework, there's a couple things. There's heart. Who are you and your heart center? Things that you are never going to let go of. Your authenticity. What's important to you that makes you authentically you? For me, it's my integrity. It's my like genuine desire to be unconditional love for others, to reignite what love is, to be the joyful person that I am unapologetically. Like, I'm a squirrely girly. I'm okay with that. Some people aren't, and that's all right. I don't have to explain myself. And there's these pieces where, when we look at, you don't have to ask permission to be integrity. You don't have to ask permission to be authentic. You don't have to ask permission to be loving and kind. So what is it that makes your heart center glow? Because like I said in the live, like, you can be kind and still get paid. But there are things that people know you for. Not in your self-abandonment, in your truth. Who are you? That you need to really lock into, because as you grow in the industry, people will challenge that about you. I refused to let people challenge my authenticity. I just showed up more of me, because I recognized that when people were challenging me and saying like, there's no way she's actually like this. And they would challenge me. They would really try hard to break me with the way they spoke to me, with the way they treated me, all these different things, right? And I refused to waver because that's part of the healing process for them and for me. Why would I make myself small to try to make someone else comfortable who's already committed to being uncomfortable with my presence? So at the end of the day, where are you going to stand firm in who you are, even if it makes other people uncomfortable? Because they may not be your ideal client. And you know what they say is they say like haters are really your clients in disguise because you make them feel so deeply what they actually need to change. And so it's those pieces where are you going to be unshakable in who you are? Where are you going to really anchor that down for you? The other is your hustle. Okay, this is a part the first H is your heart. The second H is your hustle. All of us here hustle really hard. We are the overachievers. We are the ones that will do all the things at a cap level. Where I want to speak volume to this, though, is how are you going to hustle without burning out? Where do you need to automate? Where do you need to delegate? Because listen, there is no shame in the automation game. There's no shame in the delegation game either, my friends. Let it be easy. Because like I said, making things harder for yourself does not make you more valuable. So when in your hustle hard in the areas that you know you want to serve. Be relentless in that service. Because as I was growing within this organization, I was relentless on showing up. Even if I was in a state of, I'm having a hard day, I was showing up because I was so committed to connecting with others and serving them and doing what I needed to do. Even if I was having a tough time, I knew that that was going to be temporary pain because I had a long-term goal. So not letting the temporary seasons take you out. And when you're hustling and you're hustling hard, you're gonna be met with obstacles, my friends. I had so many seasons where I got off stage and I was like, can I do this? Like, and I'd get feedback that was like, don't ever do that again. And I'm like, it just would take the wind out of me where I'd say, what did I do? Like, what did I do wrong? And it was these things that I had to lean in to feedback that was like, maybe I'm not doing something wrong, but maybe I need to adjust. I need to adapt. I needed to receive feedback and I needed to flow with it. So when you receive feedback from clients, from peers, from any area in your hustle, when you're hustling, receive the feedback, but don't let it dismantle you. What I mean by that is you're going to have people who want to see you win, and they might challenge you in a way that makes it feel like they're not trying to make you win, but really they're trying to help you get to that unshakableness in you. Because when you're hustling and you're going for the goal and you're making big things happen and you're doing these things, life does not stop. Life does not stop happening to you. So where can you hold boundaries? Where can you, like, hustle isn't just business, my friends. Hustle really leads into this third H, which is the health. Because as you are in your heart center and you're hustling hard and you're in your vision, you need to prioritize your health, all areas of it, not just our physical health. Because when we hear health, that's what instantly comes forward is our physical health. But listen, our physical health does get affected if we are so stressed out from our relationships, from our things that our circumstances. Like there's this wheel of life, health. There's this wheel of total health, and this is circumstantial. This is your social, like all these different areas. And I can share that resource with you all, but it's incredible. What happens is that when we're hustling, sometimes we abandon some of those other areas that are important to us. So we got to remember the health. Is my relationship healthy? Is my home healthy? Am I healthy? Am I sleeping enough? Like, because when you all know in startup, when the grind is heavy, we're like, I'm up at 3 a.m. And I'm like, why am I awake right now? Because I'm so fired up and my juices are flowing and I'm in excitement and I'm going to take action tomorrow. But my daughter woke up sick. How am I going to adapt? Because she's not going to wait for me. That's the thing. She's always going to come first. See, I've been married and I'm with my husband and we've been together for 10 years and my daughter's 9. So sis thinks she's 19, but she's 9. And she is a big energy. And then when I was in my first start of that hustle was so hard that I was in that coffee shop during KBB and I would put her in daycare and the mom guilt was there. And then when I was traveling, I still travel and I travel often, but I pulled back on how much I was traveling because I was traveling and would be gone anywhere from 8 to 10 days a month. And my husband said to me, this is not going to work for me. And instead of abandoning my goals and abandoning him, I met in the middle. And I heard him and I listened to him. And I said, I take accountability. I apologize for putting my hustle so hard that I was abandoning the health of our relationship. And although he could understand, didn't mean he needed to. And I had to lean into that a little bit deeper with him and saying, how can we continue to grow? Because the resistance in me was, I'm in my hustle season. I'm babe, all these opportunities. Like, honey, this is my dream. This is my goal. But listen, that man is a saint. I never want to lose him. He is more important to me than any career I will ever have. Because when nobody believed in me, I had him. When nobody was cheering for me on the stages and the things, I had him. So no way was I going to abandon him in our healthy relationship for the career, for the hustle. So I had to lean back into that other category because that category was getting quiet and it was starting to get loud. Where my husband was like, it's fine, I can take care of this. Well, after 6 months of traveling back to back so much, he's like, I don't know about this, honey. Like, if this is what it's going to be. And I said, but honey, we live a different lifestyle. This is a part of the game of hustle. And this is how we make big things happen. And he's like, but is this sustainable for us? Are you going to make us wait? So I brought them along with me. And you'll see my daughter started coming with me. My daughter started traveling with me. And then to her, this is her normal life. This was no, she's going to wait at home. And I had this talk with another, I get to have incredible clients. And I have this incredible woman I work with who was recommended to me. She's someone's daughter and she's 19. She lives in Paris and her parents were very successful, very affluential, hold very high level careers. And they traveled all the time. And specifically her dad would leave often. And then her mom would leave in some seasons. So I asked her directly, what was that like for you? And the answer I was expecting was the answer I thought I was going to get. Well, they left me, they abandoned me. I was always waiting for them to come home. It was like, the answer I was met with was, that was my life. I loved it. Sometimes I went with them, but my parents always told me they would come back and they always came back. So I never felt abandoned because they always came back. That girl gave me permission to step deeper into my profession, but also taking my daughter with me. She doesn't wait. She doesn't question. She doesn't wonder, is mom coming back? Because I've always come back. And I asked my daughter later on as I gathered the courage to ask my 9-year-old, how do you feel when I leave? And she's like, oh my gosh, mom, I can't wait till when you tell me what happened. Like, I want to know. And this girl has ideas. She has all the things. This girl, she is watching everything I do in a way where sis made an itinerary for a birthday party that was like a run of show for an event. They're watching everything you do. But because of the awareness in my health category, my husband brought forward, this is affecting me. This is affecting our relationship. This is affecting our home life because, you're gone for 8 days of the month and we miss you. We miss you. And although I could delegate services and food could be delivered and laundry service could be there and I could have someone to clean my home, I wasn't I wasn't present. So I had to learn how I could be more present while I was hustling because I got big dreams and big goals just like all of you. And the times that I said, okay, I can say no to this thing and say yes to this thing. I can say no. Let me give someone else, let me call someone else forward. So when you start to feel resistance in these three areas, your heart center, sometimes when our heart gets broken by people, maybe you had a bad client, maybe you had a bad mentor, maybe you had someone, maybe you have gone through a divorce and your ex is trying to be spicy towards you, and maybe you have people who try to break your heart. You have to allow yourself to stay heart-centered, authentically you. Do not allow people, circumstances, and things to break that in you. One of the most important things to me as a leader in this industry, no matter who I meet, how I meet, where I could be let down, where I could see things shift, I refuse to lose my heart center. And I've had seasons where I get a little quiet. Debbie's seen it, where I've gotten very quiet because I needed to step back into a state of process. What is this resistance that I'm going through, and how am I going to navigate this resistance, holding me without pretending, but also where I will not lose who I am authentically me. So the heart always has to be there. What is that humble part of you? What makes you humble? Doesn't mean self-abandonment. It means what humbles me. I know my strength. I know my tenacity. I know my perseverance. And in the hustle, you're going to hustle in a couple different areas, okay? You're going to hustle in your voice. You're going to hustle in, sorry, I left my water out. So if I seem like I'm a little bit dry, it's because I left my water. But you're going to hustle in a couple different areas, because when you look at your voice, when you look at your vision, and you look at the long-term goals, okay, when you're hustling in your voice, who are you as the thought leader? You don't need to try to be anyone else. See, I didn't need to try to be anyone else. I get compared to some other great creators out there where they're like, sometimes they're like, you're going to be the next Mel Robbins. You're going to be the next. And I said, I'm so happy for them, but I want to be me. And I'm grateful that you can see my voice strength like that you could see me speaking on some of these things. I appreciate that so much. What is your voice in these areas? What do you value? What is it that you are known for? Because when you look at those pieces and you have this vision for your future, that doesn't mean the vision can happen and it's going to happen. What I mean is, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in 6 months. What we spoke on today, this was over the last 6 years of compound effect. There is so much value in the compound effect. So what is your voice? What is your vision? And what's the values that you hold? What is your value in this industry that you're in? What is your value in that niche that you solve the problems for? Let yourself have a voice in those places. And I'm going to encourage you, because I know that we're getting to time here, and I put together a journal prompt for all of you. And I've given it to Debbie. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you just so you have it. But this is your next era. You're going to step into your next era. And you're going to lean into what is the humble self, the heart center. How are you going to hustle? And how are you not going to abandon your health along the way? Where are you going to hold boundaries with people and circumstances so you can prioritize the things that are important to you when it comes to your family, to your relationships, to your stability? Where do you expire loyalty to people in that, so that you can be loyal to the vision, to the purpose, to the voice, but also bringing the family along with you, bringing the people that matter to you the most with you? Because although we're going to have moments we feel lonely, we are not alone. You will, like I was sharing earlier, when I got that, I got the director role and World Summit, and I was by myself. I didn't have my family with me on that, but I really honored who I became to get there. And I went to dinner by myself and I celebrated. Just because I was alone didn't mean I was lonely, because my husband was cheering me on. He called ahead at this restaurant. He bought my dinner. He was FaceTiming me. He's like, honey, I wish I was there. And I was like, honey, I know you're here. You're always here with me. Always. So there's this ability to do that. So in that exercise, you're going to see a couple of different areas. It is meant to challenge you. It is meant to call you up, because again, I want you to really identify what are the top 3 things that you want. Don't be shy here. You want a big stage? You want to run a retreat? You want to write a book? What is it that you want? What are those 3 big things? Then I want you to lean back into your community here, because Debbie has curated one of the most beautiful communities I've seen in our industry. Truly, 1,000+ women are here. I've loved watching Debbie's ability to connect and bring people together. Lean into her, because she knows someone who can help you, okay? Because when you look at who do you know that will support you, I want you to make this list. This list is intentional. Okay, there are many, you can add more, like give yourself another page if needed. You know people who want to see you win. Ask them. Ask them how you can serve. Ask them how you can support. Ask them how they got to where they are. Ask them. Ask them to help you. And maybe you hire a coach in this, fine. But who are those people that can support you? And then I want you to check in with, where can you take action right now? So when I declared my elegant era, I was like, I'm going to take myself more seriously. I'm going to actually get dressed for my Zoom calls. I am going to do my hair today. I am going to make the extra effort. Where can you take action now to start moving the needle into who you're becoming, who you are now? That's important. Now, there's another factor here. Where can you contribute? Contribution is key, my friends. Contribution is so key. It really flows into our heart-centered space. But where can you contribute as a thought leader? Where can you contribute as you're hustling? Yes, you're going to attract ideal clients to you, but where can you contribute? Give your heart, give your knowledge, and contribute to these spaces. Because one of the things that Dean says, and this is something I hope this resonates with you all, is that when you are on someone else's stage, don't self-promote. When you are on someone else's platform, seek to serve. Point to them, because that will come back to you in reciprocity in many other ways. There's so many other things you could be doing. Where can you contribute? Really wholeheartedly contribute. And the last piece is, what do you need to let go of? Be honest in this part, okay? Like, it's okay to say, yes, I do need to let go of this relationship, this friendship. I need to let go of my scarcity. I need to let go of this. Like, what is it that you need to let go of? Whether it's a belief, it's a person, it's a circumstance. How are you going to shift and just allow yourself, the next time you are challenged by the spicy person who really tries to hold you back, hold the boundaries. I've had to undo a lot of that, because I set really hard boundaries with family members, with friends, people that I thought would be supportive or were really the most resistant to my growth. Hold the boundaries and hold yourself forward, because you are strong enough, you are capable, and you are worthy of creating this change by choice. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Thank you so much for holding the space. I know I went a little bit over time, so we got started a little bit over, but Debbie, it's an honor and a privilege to get to share this stage with your audience. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to pass it back to you, my friend.
Brandi, thank you so much for always bringing the gold. And yes, we did start late, so you did not go over. This was absolutely beautiful. You rounded up perfectly. Brandi, if you have to go, that is totally okay. but I really feel called to allow the people here to share what their aha moment was.
Oh,
We've
I
been
would
in
love
this
that.
industry together for a long time, and it feels like there was something they needed to remember today. And I would love to capture that on camera if we can. And I totally get it if you have to leave.
I'm okay.
Let's give
I'm
her a
okay on
round of,
time.
what's that? Sorry.
I'm okay on time. I'm good.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
give her a round of applause first, just with so much gratitude, and drop your gratitude in so that Brandi can see that. And then just who would love to share a takeaway? I put you guys all on the spot and then
I
nobody
know,
wants to
right? I'm
share.
like, I see Carmen has her hand up. I see Terese.
Carmen, go
Carmen.
ahead.
Yeah, I know there were more than one, but one of them that really touched me was about taking the people with us, right? Not sacrificing the relationships. And I saw Marilise it touched too when you were talking, Brandy, that's, I've had that thought. I'm like early on in my journey as far as doing all the work and putting myself out there and everything, but I'm also newly married. And
Mhm.
I had started having this thought, well, if I start traveling, like if I'm going to do retreats with people and like that kind of fun stuff, I don't want to be gone all the time and have him feel neglected, right? And when you're like, take him with you, I thought, oh my God, I could so do that.
Oh,
Um, so that was definitely one of them. And also just asking for help.
yeah.
It's sounds so simple and it is, and yet it's like something that doesn't occur
Oh
to
my
my
gosh.
brain, right?
Oh, I love that. And it's so true because I'll tell you this, everyone deals with this. Even on the most levels of like billionaires deal with this. One of the most like breakthrough things I'd ever seen is I was watching something about there was a room of these big decision makers and they're asking like I have this goal, I want to do this big thing, I want to give away all these things and I don't know anyone. And the person in the front of the room says, "Who in this room can help them from this?" And he goes, "Well, I can help you with that." And he goes, "Well, you guys got to talk on lunch." He goes, "That's my best friend. We've been friends for 10 years." And he looked back and he goes, "You never asked me." He goes, "I didn't know." And he goes, "Well, how are you going to know if you don't ask?" And I was like, "Okay, all right, you know what? Say less." Like, but that's the truth. And the other factor too is I whenever you question, "Can I do this?" It's not the either or. It's not the retreats or the relationship. It's also the relationship and the retreats. It's also the business and the relationships. When you have seasons of resistance, you work through them so you can calibrate what's needed for both of you. My husband is very blue collar. Listen, in our industry, I'm very like I'm known and I do things in our industry. My husband has no idea. He doesn't know any or care about any of the people I work with or what I do. Like when I say like Dean Graziosi or Tony Robbins, or he knows Tony Robbins, but not that he's ever consumed like the content on the level like we have. So he's like, "Good for you, sweetheart." But my husband's so blue collar, he's like, "You do you, honey. I don't know what you're doing, but you do you, babe." and like, and when he can come with me, he does. Otherwise, he's learned it. Like, I always come back. I don't make him wait. Prime example, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I'm gonna fly out to go record content, come back in the evening, taking my daughter to a concert on a Wednesday. Who does a concert on a Wednesday? I don't know, but we're doing that. Then I'm flying back to Scottsdale at 5 a.m. on Thursday morning to be fully immersed in a workshop for 2 full days. Then I'll fly back Saturday morning. He's okay with that because he's learned that I didn't force this on him. He's learned that I always come back and I always keep my word. He's learned that whatever things he was navigating in his fear of abandonment, I learned to nurture that with him and to teach him I was not going to abandon him the way that his feelings were trying to convince him. And so we had to adapt on that together. So I hope that helps because retreats are really powerful. And he may not understand it fully, but he's like, "You do you, babe. And I'll be here and I will watch and I will do everything to support you."
Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's such a great point.
Go
I
ahead,
love that.
Marilise.
Hi,
Thank you
Marilise.
so much, Brandy. It was beautiful. So timely. So many of the things you're saying are so present with me at the moment. I think for me, the thing that really struck sort of a real chord today was the how am I going to hustle without burning out? Because
Yeah.
I've really never put hustle and easy in the same context, you know.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, again, it's that balance between sorry, my husband's just speaking really loud in the background. I don't know if
That's
you can
okay.
hear him.
It's fine.
But basically the whole curriculum, and Debbie and Ashley, you would know because we've spoken about it just yesterday, but it's all about finding a new way, because in the past I have burnt out many times, and now leaning into it can be easy.
Yes.
And so that was really beautiful for me because it really just presents and grounded that sort of, and doesn't have to be
Yes.
either or, it can be
Yes.
both and.
I love that. I love that so much. And where if do I have your permission to give a little coaching here on this? I love this. I get excited because where could you be calling up someone that could help take some of the things off of your plate that is maybe in your community and is ready to serve and wants to support you? Where could you call them up to create a little pressure release? And also, where could you be delegating some of these tasks? Like what I noticed when I was navigating seasons of burnout was because I was trying to do it all. I was in my like pride of if I don't do it, then it's not valuable enough. Like if I don't touch this, then I'm doing something wrong. And where you can lean into and leverage tools such as AI, all of you here as business owners should start adopting AI into your processes. And I mean this with love because I know it can feel a little nerve-wracking of like, what is this tools? Does it dehumanize the experience? No. It's where can you leverage something to make something easier for you so that you buy that time back by delegating and automating some things that you might be hesitant in. And you know what those things are. They're already probably coming forward of like where you could automate and delegate and where could you call someone up to start mentoring them to replicate you to shine in their way, but also serve within your community. So those are some of my like coaching moments and things that could help support you so that you're and the other part too, and this goes for every woman here, I love this, and someone challenged me on this, and it was a game changer, okay? Delegate your house tasks. I know this is, listen, we love our homes. We love our homes, they are ours. But having someone do like a laundry service was a game changer for me. I used to have this pile of laundry constantly from traveling, whatever, and it was just staring at me all the time. And I hired a laundry service. It was way more affordable than I thought, and I'm supporting a local business. It was this moment where I was like, I'm supporting a local business. I'm taking this off of my plate. I'm buying this time back. They wash everything, they fold it, they do all these things, right? Like that was a house task that was so valuable to take off my plate and my mental load. $150. $150 a month for me to do that service. I was overplaying it. I was like, it's going to be like $1,000. I just know it. It's going to be a second mortgage. Like it was way more affordable than I thought. And then I delegate my home getting cleaned twice a month on the deep cleans. Because if I do that myself, it's at least 6 hours. And now I'm giving up my entire Saturday because I got to take breaks and I got to clean my home and on deep clean and all this stuff. So I bought the time back. So where can each of you be buying time back to reduce the mental load? Because the burnout will come from that. And who could you set really hard boundaries with? I know there's some people you're probably thinking, Marilise, where you're like, I actually need
The
to stop
the
letting that person.
boundaries.
Yeah,
Yes,
the boundaries are
yes,
huge.
yes.
My I set such hard boundaries with my sister that we've gone no contact because she realized that she could no longer disrupt my peace. And when I kept holding boundaries of no, I will not be dropping everything I'm doing to rescue you. You're resourceful, you're an adult. I wasn't being mean, I was just holding firm in my boundaries. And it got to that point where like my worst fear was she's never going to talk to me if I don't do this. And what happens? She's never going to talk to me. But the piece that came after that, where I'm no longer feeling that eggshells of what if I have to drop everything I'm doing to go and rescue and explain and all this stuff? It's like, where could you all be setting a hard boundary with that person? And it can be someone that you love. I love my sister unconditionally. If that woman showed up to my door tomorrow, my door is open, but I no longer allowed her to disrupt my peace and what I was doing. So that's another factor here. So I got excited and I apologize for kind of going off there, Marilise, but you brought some really great points to the table. Thank you for pulling that forward. Was there anything else that came up with you I might be able to serve in? Just wanted to make sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
perfect. Anyone else have any aha moments that they would love to share? And then we'll let Brandi go. We've seen a lot in the chat as well. Go ahead, Terese.
A lot resonated with me, and I appreciate your energy.
Thank
And
you.
going back to what our values are, it's in our heart and our health, which is why I'm walking right now.
I love it.
Is at the forefront of why. And if we get that, you just framed an easier way for me to think of buying my time back.
Yeah.
That's amazing because you know, we all have lives, and I have grandkids and
Yeah.
kids and a husband and life, and it's not going to go away. So take them with us
Yeah.
is amazing. And to the other point that always resonates with me is that you chose to get up and present yourself in a way that you were happy with so that you could serve others.
Absolutely.
That is my core of what I like to teach on how you see yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to look like everyone else. It doesn't mean you have to be beautiful, and that working hard means you're favored.
Yes.
It means that you care about yourself, to nurture self-love yourself before you serve others. So I love it,
good.
and you really helped me in that too. Thanks.
Oh, so good. Thank you so much, Teresa. I really appreciate that. I think there's a lot of value in our self-care, and that it is self-loving to delegate tasks and to give your bandwidth back. That it is self-care and self-loving to bring back your bandwidth and to allow yourself to truly do the things that you love and delegate the rest. And there's no shame in the delegation game. I've said that a couple times because I want you all to, next time you feel a little resistance in delegating, see what happens when you just actually delegate it and watch the relief that comes afterwards. It has been such a privilege to get to share this space with you all today. Thank you. So many great takeaways. Thank you so much, and holding the space for us to discuss and have some good moments together. So thank you.
Thank you, Brandi. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live. And anybody that's watching the replays, know that we check the comments. We want to hear your aha moments. We want you to do the homework that she give us a sheet, and we'll add that to the portal as well. So we want to hear from you. Again, Brandi, such an honor, and so grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie. This is an incredible community. Thank you for having me.
Put the recording back on, but I will. All right, beautiful. My takeaway is what you said in the very beginning, Brandi. When you said take yourself more seriously. And there are tasks that I know I will be doing now from that reminder. So thank you.
So good.